So on the EvolveINK YouTube channel, I talk a lot about the types of tattoos that I really love. However, there are some types of tattoos that I see out in the wild that I am not a fan of. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 11 types of tattoos that I do not like. So before we jump into the list, I just want to apologize beforehand to anybody that is either thinking about getting any of these types of tattoos or already has these types of tattoos. This video is to not put those types of tattoos down, it's just simply my opinion. Starting off with the first type of tattoo that I really don't like are the new patch style of tattoos. This is a type of tattoo that doesn't really look like a tattoo. It's supposed to resemble like a patch on your skin. This type of tattoo has really grown in popularity and you're starting to see them more frequently. Now, I gotta say the main reason why I personally don't like this type of tattoo is because of the sheer fact that I like my tattoos to look like tattoos. Whenever I see these out in public, I'm always like, it just looks like a patch. It just looks like a patch on the skin. They don't flow nice if you have other tattoos. They are definitely a very unique style of tattoo and very eye-catching. And the ones that I see, they are all really well done. But I don't know. I can't hop on the train with these style of tattoos. Now, I will say that I did see a couple patch style, embroidered style tattoos that had other elements incorporated into it. Like there was a watercolor one and then it had like the patch. I really did like that. But when they're just like the standalone embroidered patch style tattoos, I'm not a big fan of them. Coming in at number 2 is another type of tattoo that has really grown in popularity recently, but I'm just not a big fan of, and that is micro tattoos. And I spoke a little bit on this style before on the channel. The main reason why I personally would never get one of these micro tattoos on my body myself is because they just simply don't last. That's really the main reason why I don't like this type of tattoo. Due to how small these types of tattoos are done, you know, them being micro and whatever, the detail in the tattoo just doesn't last. It doesn't hold up. In 5 to 10 years, that small little tattoo is just going to end up looking like an ink blob on somebody's skin. Now, I understand that not everybody wants to have a big tattoo on their body. They want to get something small. But this style of tattoo, this type of tattoo, I'm just not a big fan of. And I would like to know what your thoughts are, so leave a comment below. Coming in at number 3 on types of tattoos that I really don't like is the lips on the neck tattoo. Now, I'm not a big fan of lip tattoos at all. They're very popular. I see them all the time, but the ones on the neck, the main reason why I don't like those are because, one, of how noticeable they are. They're usually done in either like purple, red, or like pink ink, so they really stand out. And of course the location. It's right there on the neck for everybody to see. And I don't know, I feel like these types of tattoos are always done really poorly. And they don't look realistic. And even if they did look realistic, it just doesn't look good. And I know some people get this type of tattoo for like their significant other. It'll be like their significant other's lips on their body. But it just, I don't know, man. It just doesn't look good. I feel like it never looks good when it's done. And you could get something so much better for your significant other than just their lips. I don't know. This next type of tattoo that I personally don't like piggybacks off the whole significant other thing, and that is when somebody gets their significant other's name tattooed on their body. Now, I know these types of tattoos have a lot of meaning. You're representing somebody that you love on your skin. But I just can't help but to think whenever I see them, first thought is always, there's a really high chance that that person is going to end up regretting that tattoo at some point. Now, I personally know a few people that have their significant other's name tattooed on them. One has it right on their neck, but whenever I ask them what they think about their tattoo, they all say they regret them, and they're either going to get it laser removed or get it covered up. I'm just personally not a fan of this type of tattoo. I feel like if you want to represent your significant other in a way on your body, don't get their name. Do better than that. Get something else that's like more beautiful, maybe something that reminds you of them. That's just my thoughts. Next up on our list of tattoos that I just really don't like is tribal tattoos. And I know that this is one of the founding fathers of tattooing styles, but I'm just not a fan of it. And there is a few reasons why I don't like them. The first reason is that when it comes to like the modern tribal tattoos that they call them, there's just not really much to them. To me, I feel like they all look the same. And I feel like most people that decide to go and get this modern tribal style of tattooing, doesn't really do much research on what they actually want. They just want a tattoo, they go into a shop, and they're just like, that looks cool, just put that on me. And the second reason why I'm not a fan of the tribal style tattoos is because of how big they usually are. They take a lot of real estate up. Even if you go and get like the smaller ones, they're still big. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about all tribal tattoos. Like, for example, I like the Aztec and the Mayan tribal tattoos. I think that they're very intricate and a little bit more unique. But when it comes to this modern tribal tattoo style, I'm just not a fan of it. So next up is another popular style of tattoo, at least it was back in like the 90s and 2000s, and that is Chinese lettering. Whenever I see this type of tattoo, the first thing that comes to mind is that this person got it and it was an impulse decision. They didn't really think about getting it, but they walked into a tattoo shop and that was the first thing that they saw.
They're like, yeah, let me get this in Chinese writing.
Or it was a group tattoo to where you guys got like a symbol or something. That's always the first thing that comes to mind when I see these type of tattoos. Also, there's those horror stories out there to where people go and get a Chinese lettering tattoo thinking that it's going to say one thing and then they find out that it says something completely different that they don't want on their body. I'd be highly upset. So next up is going to be the clock, dove, lion tattoo. This combination of tattoo is so popular, and realistically that is one of the main reasons why I'm not a big fan of this type of tattoo. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm not a fan of this type of tattoo. You just literally see them everywhere, and whenever I see it, I'm always like, a tattoo artist once told me a while back, and it will forever be stuck in my head, that whenever he sees a lion, clock, dove tattoo, that combination, it's like the tattoo beginner starter kit. Like, it's people get that to say they have tattoos, which, I mean, they do, but they could get something a little bit more unique, you know? When these types of tattoos are done right, they do look awesome. I will give them that, but because of the fact that I see them so often, I'm just not a fan anymore. I like the unique new tattoos. And with this one, I'm sure you watching this video know somebody or seen it out in public quite a few times. And leave a comment below on your thoughts on this tattoo. I think we're on number 8, but I lost count. But up next on tattoos that I don't like is any type of font tattoos. Now, fun fact, this type of tattoo was the first type of tattoo that I've ever gotten. And now I regret it, and I'm in the process of getting it covered up. Now, I know there are some out there that just want to have a word on their body, and that is completely fine. I always recommend for anybody to get whatever they want. It is your body after all. But I feel like due to how much tattooing has advanced, you could literally get anything you want. And like, the designs that people are making nowadays is just insane. And I'm just like, why settle on a word? Just get something like mind-blowing that almost represents that word without just putting a word on your body. And I will say the font style that I really don't like the most are probably the graffiti and the goth font. Like, that is, whenever I see it, it's either on really big on somebody's chest, on their back, or on their stomach. If that's something you want, get it. But to me, I'm just like, you're wasting so much real estate. If you end up regretting it or want to get something in that area, it's going to be completely covered up. And also, I can never read what they say. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I can't read. But in that font style, I can't make out the words. One of my old friends that I went to school with got a goth tattoo lettering thing on his chest. And he showed me and I was like,
oh my God, that is sick. What does it say?
All right, so the next type of tattoo that I'm not a fan of are the ones that are just poorly and unprofessionally done. And realistically, who is a fan of those, really? These are the types of tattoos that are done by people that either do not have any skill or really shouldn't be tattooing in the first place. Now, the main reasons why I could honestly say that I hate these types of tattoos is because that they could literally ruin somebody's life. I see it all the time on videos online where, you know, it's the tattoo reveal time and it just looks horrible and the person starts to break down and I just, oh my God, it just breaks my heart every time. Now, when I'm talking about these types of tattoos, I'm not pointing at like apprentices that are still learning, that, you know, they did a couple of tattoos, but their quality of work isn't on that high level yet. I'm not talking about those. I'm just talking about those people that, you know, they're just in it for a quick buck. They're in it, they found a $20 tattoo machine and they're you know, they think that they're good at it. They think that they're good at drawing, and they put something on somebody's body that just ends up ruining their life, like I said. Okay, so the next type of tattoo that I'm personally not a fan of are those black bands that wrap around the whole arm. Now, I know these types of tattoos can represent like a loss of a loved one, and sometimes they do look really cool, but the main reason why that I'm just not a big fan of this type of tattoo is really two reasons. One, because of them being solid black, you'll sometimes see them as like spotty, and that's not necessarily the tattoo artist's problem. It's really the person that got the tattoo, that maybe they didn't heal it up properly. But the other reason is because it wraparounds the whole arm, and that takes a huge amount of real estate off of your arm because it's wrapping all the way around. And since it goes all the way around the arm, you're actually losing out on two spots that you could potentially get other tattoos at later on down the line. All right, so coming in at number 11 is last name tattoos. And I know people get this because they're proud of who they are. They think their last name is cool and unique. And if you were to get this tattoo, that is totally fine. But for me, even though I love my last name, it's Desmarais, I just wouldn't get my last name tattooed on me. I'm not a fan of it. I personally feel like you don't really need to get your last name tattooed on you. Like, your last name is already associated with you. It's what everybody knows you by. It's going to be with you literally forever. And I don't know. I don't know. Also, I feel like if you were to go and get this type of tattoo, you're going to have some jokes coming your way as well, because people are going to look at it and be like,
you had to get your last name tattooed on it? Like, what are you gonna forget?
At least that's what I always think when I see them. Also, they're always super huge. They're never small. They're just humongous on somebody's back or on their chest or something like that. Just not a fan. Now, if you want to watch more tattoo-related content, be sure to check this playlist out right here. And if you agreed on this list, leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.